I didn't know it yet, but this hunt turns out to be the best hunt I've ever had in my life. I've been sitting on this footage for a while, but now is the perfect time to share this with you. I documented this whole solo wilderness hunt in fine detail, and what I didn't know at this point in time is that I was about to find myself hooked on hunting down an absolute giant. In this series, you will learn things you can implement into your own hunts as you see me uncover new tactics and discover new clues that all lead me towards an incredible result. So guys, join me on the hunt of a lifetime, and let's start this right from the beginning. Welcome back to another episode Out There Doing It with Jay Wilds, brought to you by your local hunting and fishing store. This is the start of it, man. We've just been dropped off into the New Zealand wilderness. I'm pretty excited about it. It is the rut. The stags are roaring. We've got rutting deer. Very excited. I'm very excited about this. So now that the helicopter's gone, it's like quiet, man. All I've got is birds. I've got a stream trickling out to my left. So I've just piled up all my gear here. I think I'm going to set up my tent somewhere in this area here, because ideally I want to be tucked away from that open view right there. Somewhere where I can be concealed. This is my base camp tent, so this is where the majority of my gear is going to be for the duration of this hunt. Nicely perched in there in amongst the vegetation. There's actually a lot of deer sign all around me. All of this is right here at camp. I haven't even explored around here yet, so I'm going to quickly get my mat blown up, get that in the tent. So camp is looking amazing, man. I've got a big fly, so it's this green Hunting fly. Give me a nice camouflage shelter to do my cooking and chill out under if it starts to rain at some point. My camp is nicely tucked away. I can just walk straight out here and I can look right up that whole valley. So stoked, man. So stoked with how camp came together. Oh, stag prints. We've got stag prints right here. They're not that old, man. That's not that old at all. Yeah, I'm excited to go explore. It's coming in late afternoon, so we've got a good evening ahead of us. So yeah, I'll quickly filter some water, pack some gear. Let's head down onto that river and we'll just head into the wind, listening, glassing, looking, and we'll just see if we can figure out the area around us. I used to drink out of all these rivers, but nowadays I'm just pretty careful, so I filter everything, because the last thing you want is to catch giardia or something nasty like that. So it pays to filter your water, guys. This one that I'm using is a platypus model. You fill the bag up with water and you squeeze it through the straw. It seems to work really well for me. Nice and lightweight. I carry it with me in my pack. Go and check those out down at your local hunting and fishing store if you need a water filter. Platypus. Same brand as the bladder that I run. Haven't heard any roars yet. You can see a deer's been chewing on that. Would have plucked it out of the ground and it would have been chewing on it as it's walking around, and then just drop this whenever it's had enough. It's quite soft. That's the base of the plant. It's quite soft. It's a good sign. Got a real good wind coming in this way. Camp is probably 40, 50 metres behind me. You probably can't quite see it. It's just through those trees. Yeah, we've got a main river down here. We've got a few openings. We're going to sneak our way down there. Actually, we might get up there. Let's get up there. Give us some elevation where we can look down. Man, look at this. Oh. What a spot, man. We can see a lot of good country from here. I didn't think I was going to find a spot like this so close to camp. Camp's literally just down there through those trees. This evening, surely we'll see some deer moving. Just gonna get really comfortable here, set up, and see what moves, man, and see what comes out. We got a deer. We
got a hind walking out down here. 2 of them. That didn't take long. Oh, we got some more deer right across on that clearing, straight in front of us. Quite far away, but it looks like there's 4 of them out there. They're all hinds. There's got to be some stags here, man. There's got to be some stags with them for sure. Epic, that's nice. That is very cool. Getting pretty dark now, guys. I can still see those hinds, but didn't see any stags or anything come out to them, so still though, for the first evening, pretty stoked, found some hinds. You know that's always a good sign, because the stags will be there somewhere, man. I'm going to keep watching right through till there's no more light, then I'm going to head back to camp, but yeah, it's pretty dark now, so we'll catch you guys nice and early tomorrow morning. Good morning, guys. I've just made my way up to our vantage point this morning. It's still reasonably dark, but very foggy. Can't really see too far. Super still, so if there's any roaring going, we'll hear it from here, I'm sure. Just need that fog to lift so we can actually see. Oh, we got some deer. Got some hinds out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hinds. 5 hinds out there, guys. First deer for the morning. It's pretty hard to see them up in that mist. We've seen a lot of hinds, but no stags. They've got to move in here soon and start pushing them around. The way I'm going to hunt this area is super conservatively. We're going to watch and find a lot of the females, a lot of the hinds, and then once the stags move in and start properly rutting, that's when we're going to make our moves. We're learning the area, we're studying the area, but if I walk around now, if I hunt around now and blow all these hinds out of here, then we're going to have to find them all over again. It's going to be a lot harder when the stags actually turn up on them. So I want to know where all these hind groups are, where they call home, where they feed, and I'm going to take note of all that. Generally in the early rut, the older stags are normally the first ones to kick into gear. So the stags that are going to turn up on all these hinds are generally going to be an older age class animal, which are the ones we want. I guess that's a little field tip, guys. It's early season. Don't blow the whole area out straight away. Be conservative with how you hunt it and try and find all the groups of hinds that you can from high vantage points and watch them and wait for those big old stags to move in. Generally happens overnight. So one morning you'll wake up, you'll relocate these animals and there'll be a big stag with them. That's how I often hunt these early season stuff. And that's this episode's field tip, brought to you by your local hunting and fishing store. That sun is starting to light up now, guys, look at that. 2 more just up here to my left. They're pretty happy feeding up there. It's actually 9 o'clock now, so it's taken this long for the sun to burn through. I've got 1 more deer up here in the sun in one of these further clearings, but now I can actually see out this side, so I'm expecting to see more. So there's 2 stags over here on the clearing on the other side of the river. We've got 1 by himself and then we've got 1 hanging out with a group of hinds out in that sun. First 2 stags for the trip, guys. Yeah, baby. Over to my left, out this way, we've got 2 spikers right out in the sun. So there's a few animals still around. Finally seeing some stags. Both these bigger stags over here, they're not old stags by any means, and the fact that one of them's hanging out with all those girls, unfortunately it's probably going to be short-lived for him. As soon as the big dominant stag comes out of the mountains to claim those girls, he's going to be pushed out of there. He's got a whole lot of stuff stuck in his antlers. He's been raking trees by the looks. So yeah, pretty exciting. The animals are loving that sun too.
So while I was cooking my breakfast and enjoying the early morning sunlight, I'd become familiar with at least 3 groups of deer that showed consistency. These deer were going to prove a valuable piece to the puzzle later on. You'll learn more about these deer soon, but for now, I've had a really good idea.
Okay, I've got a plan. Just creeping through these clearings, because before coming in here on Google Earth, I found something that we're going to go check out. Just got to go through this last clearing, then I'm there. Lots of deer sign, look at all these tracks. Wait till you guys see what I found. Let's hope it's as good as it looked on the satellite imagery. risky. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you about this shortly. But this is a very risky move. But if I'm going to do it ever, this is the perfect opportunity. I'll tell you why shortly. Paradise duck's flying over me right now. I don't want them to see me. Keep going, keep going. Go and land somewhere, you dorks. We're good. Okay. This is the Spy Point LM2. I'm going to set this one on this big patch of mud right here because it looks like something's wallowed in it. So we're going to put a camera on each one of these big mud wallows. This camera here, it takes 24 megapixel photos and it's a compact cellular camera. Of course I've turned the cellular function off here, but if you turn the cellular function off it still works perfectly fine as a standard trail cam. So we're going to set this one up right in this tree behind me. It's going to look into this mud pit right here. So we've got the Spy Point Force Pro there, and we've got the Spy Point LM2 there. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with those cameras over the next week or so. Right, let's get on out of here. You'll notice I put my bag way away from the wallows. I just tried to get as little scent around those wallows as possible. I did those cameras really quickly. Very excited to see what happens with those in a few days.
With these two cameras now part of our story, in a few days' time the information we would learn from them would ultimately lead me right where I needed to be. But of course, at this point, I had no idea.
So have a look at that, we've got a drizzle, a bit of rain starting to set in. The whole point of me setting up those cameras today is doing my e-scouting before coming in here. I spied that wallow on Google Earth. I checked it back in Google Earth Pro every year that there was ever records of aerial imagery of this area, and that wallow was there every single year. High chance it was going to be a popular wallow. That's why I set the cameras on there. But the thing is, I didn't want to go walk over there and disperse my scent all over that area. But last night and this morning I checked the forecast, and there's from 5:30 on today there's quite a bit of rain starting, and tomorrow there's a heap of rain coming, and that's going to be enough to wash my scent away from that area. So that is why we went in there at lunchtime today, guys. I've literally just got to the high point above camp. Camp's just below me down here. Thought I just saw a deer. They're probably not far from moving, by the way, too. So the Spy Point Force Pro, the one that I set up first, I've set that on 4K video. And the thing is, I have my laptop with me in one of those dry boxes. In about 4 or 5 days time, we're going to check the footage off those two cameras. The Spy Point LM2, the smaller cellular one, that guy takes photos, and the other one, the Force Pro, is taking video. So we're going to check and see what's coming through on those trail cams. This rain is going to set up that area perfectly for us, wash away all our scent. But yeah, now that we're up here this evening, we're going to sit here and see what else comes out tonight, because we saw a lot of deer last night, a lot of deer this morning. So what are we going to see tonight, man? Let's hope monster stag. We got some hinds coming out. 2 hinds. There's 2 more. We've got 4 hinds coming out over here. Man, the sandflies are starting to fucking nail me. They're just feeding their way through that grass. It's a good start, although that rain's getting a bit heavier now. Hopefully big stag comes out soon with them. It's been like 3 hours. I haven't seen any other deer at all since those hinds. And I've been looking, man. So I'm going to head back to camp now while I've got daylight. And yeah, if that rain gets any heavier, I'm going to be glad to be back under that fly. Woo-hoo. Looks like I got back just in the nick of time. Have a look how heavy this rain is now. I'm
I'm not going to film too much tonight. I can't imagine this rain's going to let off. It's getting heavier and heavier, so probably see you guys in the morning then. With the night before bringing heavy rain and thunderstorms, our plan with the trail cameras was set perfectly. But this morning I had a slow start. As the rain took a while to stop, I was relaxing at camp looking through my maps when I noticed a piece of the valley that looked to have a huge funnel of grass leading into a natural pinch point in the surrounding forest covered hills. The deer trails were visible on the screenshots I had. This was a pretty exciting thought, so I decided to go take a look. The bush was super wet as I pushed my way up the edge of a swollen stream. There was a lot of old deer sign on the ground as I started to get near the grass funnel. I carefully stalked my way into the edge of it, glassing with the binos as I went until I could see there were no deer out feeding. I settled in near the base of some large trees. From here I could glass over the grass funnel and I could see quite a bit of country in front of me. Initially it felt good, but after time had passed,
I'm not really feeling the spot, man. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. I can see okay. I can see some pretty good feed areas and there's quite a bit of sign. I don't know, normally when I find a spot like this, either straight away I know and I feel confident straight away that I'm going to get some action. But here, I'm just not feeling it right now. I can't explain it, I just don't know, something doesn't feel right. I'm sort of thinking that we might back up and we'll head back, get onto the really good wind. We'll cruise along and see if we can find a good spot to sit for the evening, because it's 4 o'clock, so deer should be moving now. They have been the last couple of days. I think a relocation is what we need. Back towards you. The wind's going this way. There's a big clearing, probably 200 metres out this way. We're going to try and get to that, make our way through the bush and hopefully find an opening where we can creep out, set up and overlook that clearing. We've got a good wind, so already I'm feeling better about this. We'll keep going through here. Wind is still drifting back behind us. It looks like the bush edge is 40-50 metres in front of us. I know that if we can find a good spot that's elevated, we should be able to look out across this big grass clearing that's just out here. We've got to be careful because there could be deer out already. It's roughly 4:30. We're just going to slowly creep forward through this bush and see what we can see. Let's go. We've got a couple of deer out there already. This is the perfect spot, man. Perfect spot. I'm going to get set up right here and then we're going to get comfortable. It is 4:47 p.m. so we've got a bit of time until the prime time. But there already is deer 70 metres out here. We've got a hind and a fawn. I'm pumped about this, man. This is such a good spot. I'm watching that hind and I'm slowly just clearing all these sticks and stuff away from where I'm going to stand. I want to be able to move around this tree without worrying about cracking sticks. We got another deer over here, just in the bush edge, but man, we've only just got set up. Wow, I got the camera set up, I need to get the rifle out now. 300 Winchester Magnum. Right, we're ready for action. I am feeling very confident about tonight. I think we're going to get some good action tonight. We got another deer. I'll just get the camera on him now for you. I can just see its back. We're getting closer to prime time. I'd say if we're going to hear some roaring, it's going to happen pretty shortly. I'm always real stoked when I can see deer feeding out in front of you. Because you know the wind's good, you know everything's good. I even found this shooting stick.
I didn't know it yet, but this stick was going to play a massive part in this story.
Could come in handy a bit later on. I'll show you how it works. It's just the right height. Perfect height to look out across that clearing. Let's hope we have to use this later. I've got a round cycled, keeping it on half cock and safety for now. Looks like we got another group of hinds coming through. I can see 4 just coming through that long grass. I've just camouflaged the big camera up a little bit because it's kind of in an open spot right there. Once that sun goes down, we start losing light, we will blend in like crazy back here. But for now, I'm going to range all my spots, get an idea on what distances we're working with. Okay, that bush edge is 147. That big tree, 164. That far tree where the deer keep walking through, 224. Where those hinds are now, 242. And this close bush edge here, 119. It's roughly all under 240, so pretty straightforward shot for that 300 Winchester. We got some more hinds coming out, quite a few of them. Man, there's got to be a stag here somewhere. How good would it be if we hear a roar soon? I've got to be real careful now. One of those groups of hinds are feeding towards me. They're about 90 to 100 metres away at the moment. Now you can see in front of the camera. There's things waving around. That's because I'm shooting through the trees. I'm trying to use these trees in front of me as best cover as possible. Now the thing is, you might be wondering why I'm not roaring. So, it's early rut. It's early roar. In theory, the big dominant stags are the most active at the moment. I do not want to give away my location. I want them to make the noise. Because if I roared, everything would know I'm here. We want to keep stealthy. And we want to let the activities play on out in front of us. Closer to dark, you never know, we might have a big stag come in and rule the roost roaring, which will be some amazing video footage. So for now, we got to keep quiet and we got to enjoy the show, man. We got more deer turning up, 2 hinds and 2 more fawns. There's a lot of deer out there right now. We're getting closer to prime time. 6:55 PM. I'd say prime time's around 7:30. We got a stag just turned up. Young stag. I'm expecting to see some more mature stags from now on. Some hinds like 47 metres right here. Gotta keep real quiet. It's looking real good out there at the moment. The majority of them have fed out to the right, out this way. That stag and a couple more hinds out here to the left. But it's good. All these hinds are moving out of our area, so less chance of them busting us. I'm expecting to see some big stags soon, some older stags. It's getting to that time of night, so hopefully a big roaring one. Another stag right in the tree line. You can just see him through the trees there. Man, with all these hinds around, there's got to be a big mature older stag somewhere, man. If he doesn't turn up tonight, he'll turn up in the next few days, you'd think. It's just a matter of time before a big old stag's going to come and claim all of these hinds. And we want to be there when that happens. We're in the prime time now. Come on, big stags, where are you? It's crazy how the stags are always the last to get onto the feed. We've got a stag roaring. Getting very low in light. I can't quite see where he is. He's at the far end of this clearing by the sounds, on the other side of those trees, running out of light real quick. There he goes again. Come on, where are you? It'd be good to see him at least. I knew something older would come down sooner or later. At least we've got one roaring stag. Hopefully we get to see him. We've got a little bit of light left.
As the light faded away, I watched the two young stags push the hinds around the clearing. The elusive roaring stag never did show himself, but he was roaring non-stop as I packed up all my gear and quietly snuck out back to camp. Just trekked through there in the dark. Had the red light on my torch most of the way. Tomorrow is another day, and the hunt steps up to another level. Bringing plenty of ups and downs, this one is going to be exciting.
Hear that? He's roaring, I can hear him. I know you can look at him a second.
So remember guys, all the gear I use in any of my hunting can be found down at your local hunting and fishing store. With that said, so we'll carry on from tomorrow morning on the next episode. We'll see you then.